Hey, everybody, welcome. Talk Shit Sports. We're a little different today, but we are here and we're playing it safe, right, Jimmy?
Yes, we are. The virus takes its toll on some people. And so, we got to keep social distance every once in a while.
Absolutely. We follow protocols as well,
We follow protocols, just so everybody knows. We follow protocols as well. And, hence the scruff, that happens when you don't go to the office for a while.
Man, well, it feels like forever since the last show, but it's only been a week. We had a great show last week. If you guys haven't seen the show last week, we had, Rolando Cantu from Arizona Cardinals. What a great show. I was listening to it again yesterday when I was driving to a golf tournament, and just great. It's great to hear. He's
a fun guy, man. He's a fun guy. Big dude.
Humble dude.
He's a big teddy bear, unless you get him between the lines. And that's a completely different story.
Well, man, he could be your bodyguard.
Oh, dude. I don't know if you've seen pictures of I shown you pictures of me like right next to him. I mean, he absolutely dwarfs me. He's 6'5", he's a big guy. And I just basically disappear. It's really funny.
That's hilarious. It's like I saw a picture of Shaq and Kevin Hart.
Oh,
have you seen
God,
that one?
Yes.
I saw one with Shaq, Kevin Hart, and Yao Ming, and I was like, wow, you don't realize how big Yao Ming is. He's a big dude.
Yao Ming is huge
compared to Shaq.
He's so much bigger than he's so much bigger than Shaq.
Unbelievable.
You don't think about it, but I've got to send you a picture of me with Magic Johnson. That's another one. I mean, Magic Johnson, 6'9", I'm 5'6", 5'7" on a good day. So yeah, it's pretty funny.
Yeah. When I was a kid, my dad, we went to a Laker game and we got our seats picked to shoot at halftime. And my dad actually let me shoot. I was like 13. I was on the basketball team in junior high school. And he wanted me because, my dad was a basketball player. So he wanted me to do it. And they were playing the Warriors at the time. And it was back then when they had Manu Ball.
Oh, yeah.
And that guy was – I remember because we were on the court and and they were coming back out. And I was like, oh, my God, because we got to sit by the basket. It was ridiculous. Like, the guy was like,
yeah,
unbelievable. You don't realize how big these guys are until you're around them. But now that we're talking about NBA, we got a lot of things to talk about with NBA. There's a lot of things happening, a lot of rumors, a lot of – I know you got a lot of stuff to talk about. I already know what we're going to talk about. But the first topic I know is my Lakers and what's going on with them. And I'll let you start that off because I already know.
Well, you know what? I wanted to see if you actually brought it up. But, Anthony Davis, again, gets hurt. Now it's his Achilles. Over the weekend, he had, another injury while he was playing in Denver. They flew out to Minnesota. He got an MRI there. Apparently, it's just a strain. He didn't completely tear it because he would have been done absolutely for the season. But they say they're going to reevaluate him in 2 to 3 weeks. But when your Achilles is, sore and that happens, if he comes back really quickly, look at what happened with Kevin Durant while he was with the Warriors. He tore it twice.
Well, yeah, wasn't he sore first and then he tore it, right?
He was sore first and then he tore it.
People were calling him out. He wasn't supposed to play that game. Yeah.
And this is exactly why something like this could happen to KD. He's tall, thin, and he's the type of guy who's had numerous injuries throughout his career. I mean, since he came into the league, in 2012, 2013, he's missed a total of 110 regular season games. So it's more of what's going to happen to him, when he's going to get injured, how many games he's going to miss. And this is something that completely affects the Lakers because, to me, even though LeBron, and everybody is just talking, spectacularly about LeBron, the way he's playing, whatnot. However, if LeBron doesn't have any help, if he doesn't have KD, you can kiss, the chances of them making it far in the playoffs goodbye. And I tell you that because You're a Laker fan. Tell me, other than KD, who's on the Lakers and LeBron? Who's on the Lakers? It's a bunch of nobodies.
Well, I mean, it's not look, we paid some guys this offseason. They need to step up. Kuzma needs to step up. He's supposed to be he was regarded as the number 3 guy, and he's coming off the bench, which he should be a starter. I mean, he needs.
Okay, but you actually believe that Kyle Kuzma is going to take you to the promised land, as the number 2 guy next to LeBron?
No, we need Anthony Davis. I mean, we lost. Dwight Howard was a big deal for us last year. I mean, with his defense, he made a big deal with us. Marc Gasol is great. He doesn't play a lot of minutes, but I don't know if he can fill that role there. I mean, he's great for what we need him for, but
he's serviceable.
Yeah, we don't have that. We don't have that. We had JaVale McGee last year. We had Dwight Howard. We had Anthony Davis. So we don't have those big guys. There's some rumors out there. Blake Griffin and Andre Drummond are in the trading blocks. Maybe they'll come to LA, win a championship. I mean.
See, that's the other thing. That's the other thing. I mean, what is the league coming to when guys can tell the team, you know what, I'm going to sit until we figure out where you guys are going to trade me because I don't want to be here any longer. I get the Blake Griffin thing because the Pistons are going to rebuild. He's 31 years old. He's owed $36 million in his contract this year, 39 or 37 next year, which is just a ridiculous amount of money. But, they want to play their youngsters. They want to play their rookies. And so Blake Griffin wants to go to a contender. What are you going to give up for Blake Griffin? And can the Lakers actually afford to have him with that amount of money? I don't know if they can.
They want to, pay the tax, whatever. I mean, I don't know. I don't know what the details are on that, but one of those guys would make a big difference. I mean, that would be a great backup for AD. Let AD rest until the playoffs. Let him fully recover. He's got to be out. Like, we just got to get into the playoffs, which we will.
And that's the thing, especially now when I don't think home field advantage or home court advantage is that big a deal. We saw it last year. They played in the bubble. So it really didn't, matter because you don't have, the fans. So if the Lakers are not the number 1 seed, I don't think it's going to affect them that much.
I don't either.
No matter what. However, having to travel and having to go somewhere else, that might be something that they don't want to do as much. However, though, to me, the Lakers without Anthony Davis immediately, to me, they don't even win the West because I think there's other teams that can give them a run for their money in the West. I don't think the Lakers without AD are making it out of the West. You've got Denver, who last year played extremely well. I think they're a very good team. They're gelling. Dallas may be a team with Luka Doncic, who, is an absolute beast. I think they can, be a surprise as well. Portland is doing really well. And then you got the Clippers. I know you don't like to hear about the Clippers, but if you've got the Lakers without AD, you've got to think that the Clippers are a better roster than the Lakers.
Well, don't forget you got the Utah Jazz. I hate to say it as well because I have a lot of friends that are Jazz fans and they're actually doing well right now, which is kind of crazy. But it's still a long season, and we got the first half of the season.
And that's key too. That's key too, because last year, remember, the Lakers did well because it was a shortened season.
It was only a few games.
They went in the bubble.
It was a few games. It wasn't a lot of games. It was like
they did. But remember that they did rest for a while before they went back and they started playing again. This year, it's more of a full season. You've got to travel. It's not the same thing. Like it or not, LeBron, I mean, his mileage, whether that's on the court or, going to and fro, it's a lot. I mean, he's played more games in the postseason than anybody else, I believe. And so, yes, he's playing extremely well. But if you put everything on him, you're going to see those tread marks towards the end of not only the regular season, but in the playoffs. And I think he's going to slow down in the playoffs this year, and then we're going to see a different LeBron.
Well, the thing is, it's the Lakers do better when they're on the road, it seems like right now, because I think when they're at home, being that they're from LA, there's a lot of distractions. I think home life and all that stuff gets in the way. There's no fans. There's no uplifting. You need that energy in the arena there at Staples, all the celebrity, whatever. But if let's say we make it through the season, and when we get in the playoffs, we go back to a bubble. We have the experience. Some of those guys,
but there's not going to be a bubble this year.
How do we know? Look at. There's 5. San Antonio Spurs right now just got 5 games delayed. I don't know how many players just tested positive. They're delaying the games now. Let's just say that we do. Let's say that we do. If we do, it's in our favor because we have the experience in the bubble. Look what happened to Paul George. He folded in the bubble.
Yes, he did.
He got homesick.
Yes,
he started missing his girlfriend. Saw her Instagram. She was out and about, and he got weak at the knees and folded. I mean, come on, Paul George, you're from Palmdale. You know what I mean? You got to represent. Like you can't be like that. But who knows? Who knows? Now
but what
they're talking about doing an all-star game. Some guys don't want to do it.
Oh God! First of all, the mayor of Atlanta said that she doesn't want people coming to her city for the all-star game, which is March 7th, because people go nuts. They go to party. The NBA All-Star Game is just a huge party. I've covered several of them, and let me tell you, the whole atmosphere is crazy. The one in Vegas years ago was one of the craziest scenes I've ever seen. And it's just not something that you want right now. And that's what it would become, a complete party. And then LeBron just mentioned the other day, he doesn't want to play in the All-Star game. He doesn't think that they should have an All-Star game. There's no reason to have an All-Star game. It's an exhibition game, first and foremost, with no fans. Come on. And then the league mentioned in the last couple of days that they would like to have a dunk contest at halftime and maybe a skills competition pregame, to include LaMelo Ball, because now LaMelo Ball is, huge now with the NBA because they know that he attracts people. But I think it's just bad. It's just a bad idea. The NBA All-Star Game really serves absolutely no purpose. You've got Team LeBron, Team Giannis, Antetokounmpo. I just don't think it's a good idea this year. Plus, look, it would be one of the good places for LeBron to go and flop because he remember this past weekend, Friday, as a matter of fact, he flopped against the Memphis Grizzlies, both he and Kyle Kuzma, and the league actually told them both to please stop flopping. And that's something that LeBron has done for a while, and he gets away with a lot because he's LeBron. But, it was about time that somebody told LeBron to stop flopping.
I mean, there's a lot of guys that flop. I mean, I guess LeBron just had to be the scapegoat for everybody else in the league.
Oh, come on.
It is what it is. Yeah. I mean,
all right.
The Lakers,
Yeah. The world's smallest violin playing for you.
I mean, look, I don't know. The All-Star game, what's a big deal? Why don't they do it on Fighter Island? What is it called? UFC Island. Go do it over there and have an All-Star game, and they can do whatever they want. There's no fans. I mean, go do it in Cabo San Lucas.
They've had fans. They've had fans at UFC and in Abu Dhabi, but I believe it was only like a third of the arena. So it was like 6,000 people the last time that they had a big event there. But still, I mean, you have to take things into consideration. Yes, everybody's, starting to get vaccinated now. So hopefully by the summer, things will be a little better. But obviously not in time for an All-Star game March 7th.
I mean, look, they just had a Super Bowl and they had a Super Bowl parade. I mean, they can do stuff.
Oh, yeah. Of course they can do stuff. And if you're Brady, you can be absolutely hammered and throw the Super Bowl trophy, throw the Lombardi trophy from one boat to the next. I mean, that is something that I did not expect to see from Tom Brady. Did you expect to see something like that?
No, I didn't. But you know what? I really liked it because it showed how he was just one of the guys. and he like a cool guy. Like I could hang out with this guy. Like he's a cool dude. Like yeah. You know, I mean, it was so cool to see them celebrate and having a good time with so much negativity and this in the world and on their boats, and just it was cool. It was really cool.
He showed up, that boat that he showed up in, $2 million. And it looked, but what a boat. I mean, come on, if you're going to spend $2 million on a boat, don't make it look like a pontoon boat or something like that. You know, take a real boat, for God's sakes. I mean, come on, Tom.
I mean, maybe Giselle bought him the boat. You know, she's got a lot of money. I mean,
she's got more money than him. She's got more money than him.
Well, I'm sure it's not the only boat they have. I'm sure they got another nice boat.
I'm sure.
Yeah, but I mean, it looked nice color. You know, it was $2 million. I don't know. Maybe it flies off the ground. I don't know. Who knows? I mean, it was.
it was probably the one that he wanted. You know, in case he puked after all the tequila that he had.
He said it was with avocado. He said it was the avocado tequila, which is funny. I've had some avocado tequila. I don't know if it's the same one, but I did not like. Oh my God, it was like gasoline going down my. It was not my preference of tequila, but
did they escort you up from wherever you were? Like they escorted him out.
Escorted a lot out
after he got
outs. Me and tequila, you know. It's like that YouTube video where the guys go in the guy's stomach and tequila shows up at the end of the night. Yes. Have you seen that video?
Yeah.
Or the beer goes in, the whiskey goes in, and then the tequila comes in. The homies come in after, and sums it all up.
It's just the mess of absolutely. You start tasting stuff that you hadn't tasted from like 3 weeks ago.
I don't know. Maybe
that's what tequila does to you.
Some Navajo blood inside of me that comes out or something. You know, where we always knew that. You know, who knows? But yeah, I mean, who knows? I mean, the All-Star game. You got. They're just saying right now, rumors that they're talking about Blake Griffin coming back to the Clippers, which I mean, they traded him away. I mean, I don't know. You know, who knows?
I don't know where he lands. Honestly, I don't know where he lands, but I think, like I mentioned, his contract is so big.
It's a big contract.
You know, because when he signed the contract with the Clippers, it was $171 million, right? And he left in 2018 after the first year of his contract. So he's still got 2 years left on that contract with $36 and $39 million. I mean, it's just ludicrous. And I don't know if they want to take that type of money back. You know, the Clippers do. And I don't know what team actually can right now. He wants to go to a contender. But whatever contender it is, you know, like you mentioned, sometimes it's probably going to have to be a 3-team deal or something like that. Cause I don't think it just swapping, you know, salaries 1 and 1. They're going to be able to do it.
Yeah. Who knows? We'll see. It's going to be, who knows? I mean, the league now, the players are running the league. It's just look at Harden. I mean, you know, now they're saying that the Nets are the favorite to win the whole thing. If AD is out, the Nets are the favorite team to win the championship in NBA right now, with Anthony Davis out.
Well, they've got the talent, that's for sure. But then again, it's the first season. Those guys, even it's the regular season. Once the playoffs come around, Harden doesn't like to play D, so
right.
He's going to disappear on the defensive end of the floor.
Right.
So it's only going to be KD and Kyrie and whoever else they've got, you know, on the floor at that time. Because Harden disappears playing defense. He doesn't play defense. He doesn't know the first thing about defense. I think the word, you know, any letter with the word D in it is not in his vocabulary. That's how good he plays defense. And so, and in the postseason, that's what you have to do. You have to, you know, start off on the defensive end and you know, that creates offense. And I think teams are going to be able to, I don't say lock down on all three of them because it's practically impossible. But once you play a team repetitively, night in and night out, you're going to be able to do something. And so maybe, you know, I don't know if they're that cut and dry to be the team that wins it all.
I mean, they might just outscore everybody. Forget defense. I mean, just score 160, 70 points a night. I mean, but defense wins championships, and that's what makes us a good. That's what makes the Lakers. When the Lakers do lockdown defense, they're unbeatable. When they sometimes they get a little lazy and they do what they do, but when they're focused on defense first, we're a very tough team to beat because we have that's how we won last year.
Well, these teams nowadays, no team today in today's NBA would be able to compete with the type of defense that was played, in the early 2000s, in the 90s, in the 80s, when you had the bad boys, the Pistons, when you had Chicago, those type of defensive teams, the Knicks, those type of defensive teams don't exist anymore because the league has allowed, the players to become crybabies. I mean, you can't hand check now. Can you imagine what Michael Jordan would be able to do nowadays with no hand checking? Oh, I mean, please.
Score 80 points a night.
And LeBron still flops. Give me a break.
Oh, come on. We're going to throw that in there. He'll be like the Kurt Rambis days. He'll be, like
Kurt Rambis and
Bill Laimbeer
and
those guys.
McHale and Laimbeer. Yeah. I mean, clothesline somebody on the way to the basket.
But they still had crybabies back in the day. Danny Ainge was a big crybaby, flopper too. He was the biggest crybaby in probably NBA history.
He was one of the biggest crybabies, but he also dished it out every once in a while.
Yeah.
But then again, he had a lot of enforcers on that Celtics team.
Yeah, talking about the Celtics, Jason Tatum was talking about how he's still feeling the effects of COVID. He said that his breathing is not like he was running. He said he's getting tired, winded. Who knows? He's a Celtic. Maybe he's making excuses like Danny Ainge, but that's what he said.
You had to throw that in there just because he's a Celtic. But, that's one of the things about COVID that we don't know. It affects everyone differently. These guys are, extremely good athletes. They're in great shape, and they're still suffering from the side effects of COVID. Some people can't breathe very well. Some people have problems with their kidneys or their liver or their hearts. They get some type of, heart arrhythmia. So each person deals with it differently. Some people get it, and the symptoms are, very strong. And some people barely get any symptoms at all or are asymptomatic. So it's something that not everybody deals with in the same way. And I think that's why, everybody really needs to take care of themselves because you don't know what's going to happen. I mean, you could get it and be fine. Let's say I get it and, I think I'm in decent shape, but, it might be completely different for me. So you never know.
Yeah, you never know. It's pretty crazy. That's why you got to, eat healthy, take supplements, boost up your immune system, man. Do whatever it takes. Talking about NBA, now we're going to move over to NFL. A lot of big news there. Same thing. A lot of trade rumors, a lot of people.
Well, it's the time of the year.
I mean, the biggest one right now, I believe, is JJ Watt. What do you think about that?
Well, first of all, I'm happy for JJ Watt because, he's a good guy, great player. He did a lot for not only the Texans, but the city of Houston.
After the hurricane?
After the hurricane, he was phenomenal.
Yeah.
His foundation has done a lot in Houston. But if he wanted out, and we knew he wanted out before this happened, because the Texans are a mess. They're after Bob McNair died, after he passed away, and his son took over. I mean, that franchise is just a mess. Nobody likes the way that they treat their players. Everybody complains about how they treat their players. Deshaun Watson wants out. And so now, I've got friends in Houston who tell me that the minute that they announced that they were releasing JJ Watt, they're like, wait a minute, hold on. So why does JJ Watt, want to go somewhere else and he gets released? But Deshaun Watson, has been saying, hey, I want out too. And they don't even talk to him. And so, they're thinking that this might be, racial inequality within the organization as well. So, I mean, that's a big mess. And anything you do, I mean, I wouldn't touch Houston, like the Texans, with a 10-foot pole. I mean, it's a really bad situation there. And I don't think anybody really wants to go and play with them because, if JJ Watt wants out, Deshaun Watson wants out. Even before that, DeAndre Hopkins, he didn't get along with the front office and their coach, Bill O'Brien, who got fired. But, he was shipped out to Arizona. Good for him. He's no longer there. So all the big players have been let go, have been traded. So you think there's something wrong with the Houston Texans?
Well, DeAndre Hopkins just tweeted to JJ Watt, let's finish what we started, trying to get him over to Arizona.
I think, that's going to be very interesting. Other than Deshaun Watson, where he lands, if he goes anywhere, I think JJ Watt can make a big difference for a lot of teams. Yes, he's been injured as well in the past, but I think, when he's healthy and when he can give at least 90%, I mean, the guy's a beast. Can you imagine having him on the other side of the line with his brother in Pittsburgh with TJ Watt? Wow. I mean, that's some great defense right there.
Yeah. I mean, I don't, they're saying that, go to the Steelers because he's got two brothers there. They said the two brothers are there. TJ Watt.
They're both there?
Yeah, there's another brother there too. So it'd be like the Watt brothers taking over. It'd be pretty cool.
Tell you what, man, they're really good.
I mean, the Steelers defense.
We mentioned it last time that TJ may have deserved to be the defensive player of the year instead of Aaron Donald.
Come on, Rolando. He clarified that for us in the last show. Okay, we had a official NFL player clarify that for us and taught us some things that maybe we didn't know. But it's yeah. Who knows? Who knows? I mean, he wants to go to JJ wants to win a Super Bowl. So someone was saying going to Tampa.
Yeah, he's not going to do it in Houston. I'll tell you that much.
Everybody wants to go to Tampa. Like Tampa's going to guarantee to a Super Bowl next year. Like, I mean, what?
No, not really. But you've also got to think about this. Some of these guys that are going to Tampa, they're also injury prone. AB, he's injury prone. He almost didn't play in the Super Bowl. If he hadn't had those 2 weeks prior to the Super Bowl, he probably wouldn't have played. Mike Evans is injury prone as well. So is Chris Godwin. They're both injury prone. Gronk is injury prone. So, they're just a player or two away from all those guys going down. The one thing about Tom Brady is his durability. He really hasn't had major injuries. So that's good for him. Whoever comes in, Leonard Fournette, he's notorious for having hamstring problems. So that's another guy. I mean, Tampa Bay, yes, on paper, they look great. They won the Super Bowl. But I wouldn't say that, they're a shoo-in even to make it back to the Super Bowl, let alone repeat.
Well, they're saying J.J. Watt, go to Green Bay, go up there with Rodgers, keep that team together, add another wide receiver. And, it could be
Well, they're close. I mean, they're one or two pieces away. Look, what Aaron Rodgers is able to do with the talent that he's got other than Levante Adams is unbelievable. Because they really haven't given him any weapons in the last few years. So what he's been able to do up there in Green Bay, hats off.
Absolutely. Well, in the news too is Dak Prescott. I mean, what are the Cowboys doing with this? I mean, this is a mess. Like what?
It's been going on for 3 years now, Angel. I mean, we've known that they've needed to sign him to a long-term deal. This is the third offseason in which Dak Prescott is still not signed by the Cowboys. I don't understand why. I mean, he's proven to them, especially last year. I mean, the numbers that he was putting up before he got hurt were incredible. I mean, he was like passing for 400 yards, like per game. Yep. And then you saw it afterwards, even with a decent backup quarterback and Andy Dalton, it was just not the same team. So they've tagged him, as a franchise player the year before that. So he was making, I believe, $31.7 million or just over $31 million with the franchise tag. If they do that this year, that number goes up to $37.7 million. And with the salary cap coming down because of COVID in the NFL, what are you going to do? I mean, that practically handcuffs the team to be able to sign other players or sign the guys that they need to sign as well besides Dak. So what they need to do is sign him to a long-term deal, and structure the contract so, it's back-ended and he gets his money towards the end so they can actually give him a big signing bonus, whatever you want. And then they've got the money to sign the players that they need within the team and any other free agents that they need. Other than that, they're going to have to either look for a free agent, to replace him as a quarterback, or they've got the number 10 draft pick in this year's, draft. So they could actually go and look for his future replacement in the draft. I don't think they're going to do that. The last time that they actually picked a quarterback in the first round, it was 1988, and that was Troy Aikman.
Well, worked out for them.
Yeah, it did.
You got 3 Super Bowls, right?
Yeah, but then again, remember that back then, you had Jimmy Johnson who came in and took over the place, and they won with him. After Jimmy Johnson left, the team really went downhill.
Yeah,
Barry Switzer won with JJ's players.
Yeah, he just took the team. He just inherited the team. I mean,
Yeah,
it was like
absolutely.
It was like Steve Kerr when Mark Jackson was a Golden State Warriors coach, and Steve Kerr got the team and just won all the championships, which was kind of messed up, but whatever. Yeah, exactly. I mean, they're saying that Dak Prescott may be traded for Houston.
Deshaun Watson.
I mean, they're saying,
wow, they would need to send somebody else along with Dak to Houston. But I'm sure Dak wants absolutely no part of that deal. I mean, why would you want to go to Houston?
Getting for Dak versus Deshaun Watson? I mean, Dak is a good quarterback.
Deshaun Watson is a little bit more mobile than Dak. Plus, Dak is coming off that big, ankle injury. You don't know how he's going to be in the future. So that would be good for the Cowboys. The Cowboys have a good offensive line who can protect them. With the way he, can escape his mobility for Deshaun Watson, having Ezekiel Elliott as his running back. He's declining. Got weapons. Yeah. But
Lamb.
That would
Lamb
be a good trade for Deshaun Watson. I don't think it would be a good trade, for Dak. And I don't think Dak wants that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. The Cowboys, it sucks because it's like you have a guy who wants to be there. Jerry Jones knows he wants to be there, so he's using it to his favor. But he's a good guy. He's a good role model.
How many guys, get hurt and their value goes up?
Yeah, exactly.
That's exactly what happened with Dak Prescott. I mean, he got hurt and his value still went up.
Yeah, I mean, it sucks because Jerry Jones is playing his card, and it's like they have no loyalty to Dak. Why is Dak being loyal to them? Just say, all right, franchise tag me, and then I'm out next year or whatever. I'm out. Like this is ridiculous. You got a guy who wants to be there, who has won, who you saw the difference in when he got hurt, and you're playing games with him. I mean, if I was Dak, man, I'd be like, peace out. You want to franchise tag me one more time? I'm out. Send me somewhere else. And good luck, Cowboys. But they say everybody wants to play.
Look, if I'm Dak and if they franchise tag him, good for him. He's going to be making over $37 million and still in Dallas. So now that's the worst thing that can happen to Dak Prescott is that he gets franchise tagged and earns over $37 million. I'd like to have that problem.
I don't know. Jerry Jones is the new Al Davis of the NFL. So good luck, Cowboys. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck, Cowboys. But another thing happened this week was young, old wide receiver. 30 years old, Vincent Jackson was found dead in a hotel in Florida. I know he played for the Chargers. I remember Chargers and Tampa Bay, right? Tampa Bay Buccaneers. And 30 years old, found in a hotel. Like it's crazy. So young.
And he'd been there for a while, right? Apparently he'd been at that Homewood Suites or something like that for like a month.
Some suspicious.
Something's not right. Something's fishy. We don't have the details as to what happened to him. They're still investigating. But if you figure if a guy has been living in one of those hotels for a month, maybe his personal life, was going down the wrong road. He was having mental health issues. We don't know. We don't know if it was a drug overdose, if he had been sick. We don't know. I mean, there's a lot to speculate about it, but a guy 38 years old who out of the blue just, passes away. That's kind of weird.
Yeah. And a Homewood Suites for a month. I mean, and he's missing. Family reported him missing a week ago. I mean, 30 years old. Imagine you play NFL football. You're a star wide receiver, and man, so young to go out like that it's crazy. So, that's our football for this show. But we have some other news to talk about. Is UFC. There was a big fight this last week. Well, I don't know if it was a big fight, but I'm not a big UFC guy. But I know.
I sent you the information.
Yeah, I got it.
I sent you a text with that information. And the thing is, Kamaru Usman, he won. And so now he gets to 13 consecutive wins in the welterweight division, surpassing George St. Pierre. And so that, according to some people, makes him, the best welterweight ever. George St. Pierre, first of all, to me, is a UFC Hall of Famer. He did everything in the UFC that you wanted to do. He fought big fights. He had, obviously he was the number one welterweight of all time as far as consecutive wins is concerned, with 12, a streak of 12 between 2007 and 2013. But then you see the numbers and the difference in, for example, title wins. Out of those 12 wins for George St. Pierre, 11 were title defenses.
Yeah, that's a big difference.
That's big compared to four.
That's a big difference.
For Usman, that's a big difference.
Huge. Huge.
You're talking 3 times as much almost.
Because your title fights are with the best of the best.
Absolutely. And I get it. He got to 13. But not only in the UFC, you get bonuses for like being the fight of the night, the knockout of the night, the submission of the night, or whatever. And in those, also, George St. Pierre had 5. Usman has 3, I believe.
Yes.
So you see the difference, the quality. And sometimes it's not quantity, but quality. If you look at all the numbers, and if you ask me in their prime, who I would go for GSP over Usman, just because of the fact that I think he was a better rounded fighter. He did everything absolutely great. Yes, Usman he's a Nigerian nightmare. His physical attributes are immense. He beat Jorge Masvidal, But then again, when he beat him, it was a very boring fight. All he did was clinch and stomp on his feet.
Yeah, Masvidal didn't look good. He looked. No,
Masvidal didn't. He wasn't able to do anything against Usman. But then again, Usman didn't do much either.
Maybe Masvidal is to the fame is getting to him now. Who knows? I mean, he's living the life. He wanted those big fights, and then he started coming up, and now he looks different. He didn't look hungry in that fight like he does before, like when he fought Diaz and the other guys. But they're saying that, real or not, Usman's next title defense will be a rematch versus Jorge Masvidal. I don't know. Here in the States, they could fight here now. We'll see.
Well, they could probably have it in Vegas. That type of fight deserves a big crowd, deserves an audience. I don't know how far away we are from having that in Vegas. I don't think Dana White wants to have a fight like that without fans. But then again, you can't tell whatever. Dana White he does whatever the hell he wants, and he doesn't care. So to tell you the truth, I don't care about what Dana White thinks or does.
Well, then we'll just move on from UFC because I don't care either. So, but we'll move over to some baseball. Our last topic of the show here, but I'm excited. Baseball's coming. It's around the corner. I heard my Dodgers are going to be allowing, I think, 2,500 fans into the up in Camelback Ranch up in Arizona, spring training.
Yes, I believe. I think 2,500 is what it is. Hey, maybe we should take a trip out to Arizona and check it out. You know, they play in the same.
We can do the show live from.
We'll do it live from over there. I'm down.
Yeah, let's do it because it might be the only time I get to see the Dodgers in real life this year. You know, I hope not. But I'm just saying.
I heard that MLB is thinking about maybe allowing fans into the stadiums late summer. So if that's the case, we're talking about what, July, August?
Yeah, but that's MLB. Then you have California, which is the state.
That's true too. That's true too.
I might have to go on the road to see the Dodgers play. You know, and other stadiums.
You may have to go to Texas.
Well, I don't want to go to Texas right now. There's a blizzard over there.
It's freezing out there. It's like, you know, Dallas, Houston, they're like 20 degrees or colder. I mean, it was like 15 degrees. It snowed. It's supposed to snow again later this week. I'm like, no, thanks.
No, thanks.
That's why it's the Cali life for me.
People always tell me, oh, yeah, you move to Texas. Peace out. Keep going, everybody. You guys all want to move to Texas? Go for it. We have less traffic here in California. You can deal with that crazy weather over there. I think it's 75 degrees outside right now and 75 to 80 all week. So we'll take it.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll take that over 20-degree weather.
So we're talking about baseball. We're talking about my Dodgers. Got some big names, new big name, and one that stayed with us, stayed back. We got Mr. Justin Turner, the Beard, is back with us for another couple of years. Trevor Bauer, hometown kid, really close to us. I mean, he's grew up right here down the street. I mean,
that's right. He went to Hart High.
Yeah, I mean that's a great baseball school. Shout out to Hart High School in Santa Clarita. They produce athletes there. But I mean, what a rotation that we got now. My God,
well, we were talking a lot about the Padres rotation, what they did in the offseason. You know, they signed Blake Snell, Yu Darvish, the guy from Pittsburgh. I forget his name right now, but they've got a great starting rotation as well. But then you look at the Dodgers, and you've got Trevor Bauer, who just signed. You got Kershaw, who's not the same anymore, but he's still Kershaw. You got Walker Buehler.
Great.
Buehler's
day off.
You've got Julio Urias,
who's awesome.
And then you've got Price. You've got David Price, who a lot of people, even you, forgot that he was on the team because he opted out last year because of COVID.
Yeah, exactly. Well, he never played a game. I mean, he didn't really.
No, so that's a great starting rotation. I mean, those five right there. If you have Julio Urias be your fifth starter, I mean, I think you're in pretty good shape. Me personally, I would have Walker Buehler be the number one starter. I would have Trevor Bauer be number two, and then Kershaw and David Price. But then again, you've got both Kershaw and Price. They usually go on extended IL stints during the season. So that's another thing. And remember, this is going to be 162 games. It's not going to be cushy 60. So we'll see if the arms, can withstand a 162 game season.
Yeah, but look. Not only that, we forgot about the big redhead Dustin May throwing that 90 plus. I mean, he's a young guy. He played in the World Series.
Right.
Got experience now. You know what I mean? We got Joe Kelly still. We got Victor Gonzalez, who did awesome last year.
Gratterall,
throw lights out. I mean, that guy was lights out. I mean, we got so much. We're so deep, but I think we got to change our closer this year. Jensen, I'm sorry, man. He just not the same. I mean,
No, he hasn't been the same over the last couple of years. I agree.
Years.
I don't think. I don't think he's. Yeah, I don't think he's the same. Great guy, Kenley Jensen, but yeah, no, he definitely. I don't think will finish the season as the closer. He may start the season as the closer. I don't think he's going to finish it as the closer. Look, yes, they did lose some pieces as well. Kike Hernandez went to Boston. Jock Peterson went to the Cubs. And those were, little pieces that also made the team as deep as it was and gave Dave Roberts a lot of flexibility. Without those guys, if somebody goes down, what are they going to do now? I mean, yes, they have their starting 8 players other than, plus, their pitcher, they're all back. So their starting lineup is back for the Dodgers. But I think the Padres are definitely going to make a run for it. And then you never know who else is going to be, the surprise team this year in the National League.
You got
and then
Mets,
you can't count out.
The Mets are making moves. They're making. They just signed.
Well, they wanted Turner. They wanted Turner.
Kevin Pillar,
and I think they were offering more years, maybe, or more money, but. I think he wanted more years, and that's what it was. And at the end of the day, he does great here in LA, so that's where he wanted to be.
Well, he's from LA. He's from Lakewood, so I think he wanted to stay home here in LA. I mean, he talked about how his dad can come, down the street, come to games and stuff. But the Mets signed Kevin Pillar, center fielder. They're signing little people here and there. The Mets, I see they're making moves, so they might be a sleeper team in the NFL.
Look, the Mets, first and foremost, they've got to compete in New York for the New York market with the Yankees, who just keep adding little pieces as well. So the Yankees are going to be up there. I think, I'd be ecstatic to see a Yankee-Dodger matchup in the World Series. They both got to be there. They both got to make it there. And this year, you're not going to have as many teams make the postseason like last year because of COVID. It goes back to the same format. However, some of the things are still going to remain during the season, like extra innings. You start with a runner on second base.
Which I like. I like that better.
I like that. But they're not having the universal DH. I don't understand why. I think it worked perfectly. I think everybody liked it.
It's good for us too because it saves our pitchers. Our pitchers, get hurt.
Yes, absolutely. And that's another reason why I think, the arms this year are not going to be the same towards the end of the year, like a Kershaw, like a David Price for you, and other teams. Once you get to September, October, it's really going to be the real solid teams with great pitching. And in the American League, I think that's where we're going to see, some of the teams come out and they're going to challenge the Dodgers. Look, I'll go flat out and I'll bet you anything right now if you want. Dodgers won't repeat. They won't repeat. And it's not because I'm a Dodger hater or anything like that. I just think it's too hard.
I see a sweater back there, which is nice.
Yes, I do have a Dodger sweater up there. Hey, I'm in LA. That's the one thing I had to, sort of represent in a way. But, like I said, it's 162 games this year. It's not going to be 60. So, I think that helped the Dodgers a lot. I think, somewhere along the line, someone's going to break down for the Dodgers. They may win the division, but they're not going to get to the World Series again. I think they're going to, fall off the wagon somewhere along the line. In the postseason, we're going to see another team from the National League get to the World Series. And then I think the big surprises are going to be in the American League this year. There's been a lot of movement. George Springer went to Toronto. Obviously, the Rays, I don't think are going to be the same because they lost Blake Snell. They lost, some people. So it's not the same. But, the Yankees are going to be up there. Boston, I don't think is going to be the same as well. I think Boston is going to have a hard time staying above 500 again. And then you've got teams like the White Sox, which were very close last year.
Yeah.
I think that's a team to watch. The Indians are dismantling their team. So Lindor is next. I think he's someone who's going to be traded this year, possibly. So I don't think Cleveland's going to be in the picture. But Minnesota, I think Minnesota is going to be in the picture again. They can't win in the postseason.
I thought Lindor went to the Mets. Oh,
did it? Yes, you're right.
yeah.
Lindor did go to the Mets. See, that's why Cleveland is absolutely gone. Lindor in New York, wow, Mr. Sonrisa in New York.
You know, the American League is kind of I really don't know, but when the National League, I think my Dodgers are going to win the World Series again. I'll bet you whatever you want to bet. But then you have the Braves. The Braves were good. You still have the Cardinals. The Cardinals are that scary, that team that shows up out of nowhere. They got
not
Arenado,
only that, they got Arenado. They got Nolan Arenado. You know, that's big.
He's a big time player. Padres obviously going to make a run, but when you look at baseball and you look at like when a team wins a World Series and they dominate, they have two dominant pitchers. Like Schilling and Johnson. Remember,
at least,
two dominant. We got Buehler and Bauer. I mean, it's. I mean, we're talking about the other guys.
And then you sprinkle in Kershaw and David Price and Urias, who was magnificent.
And you got May, and you got all these other guys, right? So if we could just get,
I'm not sold. I'm not sold on Meredith. Because Dustin May looks like the Disney princess, the red and brave or whatever, Meredith. So I'm not completely sold on him.
He throws heat. I mean, he's got that, that hair.
Yes, he does. But that's the one thing. That's the one thing that MLB players know how to do. You throw heat, they're going to catch up to the heat. You've got to have a secondary pitch. You've got to have a good curveball, something off speed, a good slider, something. And that's what Dustin May needs to develop.
Look, Urias proved last year that he is a top 3-4 pitcher. I mean, yes. He comes into big games. He doesn't get rattled, and he's got some. I mean, that lefty. He's
Plus
great.
He's a lefty.
He's a great pitcher.
He's a lefty.
I mean, he's learned. He's got experience now with the playoffs, and so we'll see. I mean, I don't know. The MLB is going to be interesting. It's a long season, like you said. As long as we can stay healthy. As long as we keep Kershaw limited, and keep him healthy and we can get.
Did you hear that Kershaw is not sure whether he wants to sign, a long-term contract with the Dodgers?
Well, tell that to Matthew Stafford, his neighbor that just moved here from Detroit.
So maybe now he goes to Texas or I don't know.
Well, send him to Detroit. See how he likes it.
Exactly. Yeah. Oh God.
Maybe. Oh my God. He's a Texas guy. Maybe he wants to end up in Texas. Go home. I don't know. Who knows? But
maybe
he did what he's done. He does what he's done for us. He's been an amazing pitcher, and he's a Hall of Famer, future Hall of Famer, and it is what it is. But the future does look bright for us. And I mean, I'm just glad sports are back.
Wear your shades.
Yeah, exactly. I'm just glad that sports it's not that it's back, but it's still going, and it's not. We're still getting through it, even though with COVID and all this craziness happening, we're getting through it. We're doing it. I mean, the first month it was like nothing was on. That was nuts. So, but,
as we speak, as we record this episode, we've got Champions League going on, and we've got Barcelona against PSG, Messi against Mbappe, and
1-1. It's 1-1.
It's 1-1. See,
53 minutes, 1-1.
There you go. There you go. Great game. We can talk about Champions League next week.
We got Champions League. We got college basketball on right now. Iowa State, Oklahoma State. I mean, we got, March Madness coming in.
March Madness is coming up.
Michigan looks really good right now, number 3. And they haven't played in a few weeks, and they played last night, and they look really good. So it's good. It's good to see those teams back on top, the Michigans and the big teams like that. So we got a lot of stuff, a lot of things in the pipeline, a lot of things for the show. We might be doing this show virtual, I mean, we might be in different locations. Might have to go to Arizona.
We may have to.
You stay safe there. You don't leave it.
We may have to.
When you leave the house, make sure you, like the Pope, you get one of those things. So you're quarantined, you're not, we got to make sure you're safe there, so you can talk more shit. Yeah,
absolutely.
So we got fights coming up too. We're also going to have some guest speakers as well too. Some guests on the show. I'll talk about some boxing and stuff like that because
now we've got a Canelo fight coming up, so we'll have somebody come in and talk Canelo.
Yeah, we'll talk some more shit, right? You know,
absolutely.
Yeah.
You know what? One of these days we're gonna have a woman's point of view. We'll have someone come in and talk boxing with us. We'll have a woman's point of view.
Well, it'd be good a woman to come here and slap you around. It's like, it'd be good. Hopefully she's an LA girl, a Dodger fan too,
I got slapped around for 18 years, and after that it was done. So I'm good.
It's done. He's a single life, so
that's right.
Remember 1-800-Jimmy Weed if you want to, go on a Zoom date. But but that's our show for today. Anything else? Any last comments or anything, Jimmy?
Nah, man, had fun like always.
Well, have fun. Hope you enjoyed the show, and make sure you follow us on Instagram. We've got a lot of things going on Instagram. Like I said, with the people that share the show, we're doing some giveaways with that. So we'll be announcing them on Instagram. It's just a lot easier for us to do. We want to get, Jimmy's got the shirt on, but we're giving out some apparel. Everywhere I go, Jimmy, people want the hats and the shirts.
They want the hats and the shirts.
The funniest thing is the lady stopped me and said, I need the hat. My husband talks shit all day about sports. He thinks he did. I was like, okay. I'll get I was like, send us a message on Instagram. We'll hook it up. But we're definitely going to get that out there. So, and we want people to rep, and talk some more shit because that's what we do. So other than that, it's all about
the U, baby.
Dodgers 2021.
Canes.